I think her intentions are good, and I think she's very inspiring. So I was impressed.
Okay. But a lot of people describe her as pro-China. Do you think she's pro-China?
I think anyone who goes to visit China and visits Xi is going to be labeled pro-China. I don't think that's a helpful narrative. People who label her that are usually her opposition, right? I wouldn't say pro-China. She's pro-peace. She thinks the way to do peace is through engagement and dialogue. You can criticize her for that or not, but I think she's genuine in that. I think just the question is, how is China going to respond? How is Xi going to respond? What framework can Beijing propose that would be acceptable to Taipei, to Taiwanese, voters?
Yes.
It's a key question for me going forward. I'm skeptical just based on what I've seen from China, but I think that she is, like I said, she has good intentions and she's really working hard to open up channels.
Yes. What do you think is her biggest challenge visiting? Now she's going to DC.
Yeah.
And you're from DC, so
Do you believe Trump administration will accept her point, narrative, or stance?
I think her biggest challenge is having people listen to her with an open mind, without preconceived ideas about who she is and what her intentions are. That's number one. Number two, convincing those people that she's not just accommodating Beijing and scapegoating Taiwan interests to pursue peace with Beijing, to undermine Taiwanese interests for peace with Beijing. Many people in DC think that. That's number two. Number three, explaining why many people in DC believe that the KMT is the reason why the special defense budget was not passed at the highest level. So they blame the KMT for that. Right. So she's going to have to try to convince them. It's very complicated, obviously. Many people in DC don't know the details of domestic politics. They just see the headlines. So it's going to be difficult for her to persuade people, explain why it's so difficult to pass the budget. It's very, So those three, and then just to have them listen to her explain why she wants to engage with Beijing, what benefits she wants to get out of it for the Taiwanese people. Very many people are skeptical in DC. They think China is a threat. They think China can't be trusted. So that's the mindset and narrative in most in Congress. So she's going to have to overcome that narrative and try to get them to listen. They might not agree or be persuaded, but if they listen, they might have a different perspective on her. I think that's the best outcome. Should have a little bit of a new perspective on her, where she's coming from, even if they disagree. Does that make sense?
I guess.
She asserts that her stance is consistent with Donald Trump. So do you believe this is her advantage to persuade the mainstream of America to believe her policy will be working in the future?
That if she were to sit down with Donald Trump, they would agree on a lot.
Yeah, but
she can't.
Yeah.
She has to talk to the people below Donald Trump. The people below Donald Trump don't always agree with Donald Trump's views on China and Taiwan. Mark Rubio, for example, right? They're more hawkish on China, right? So that she's going to have a tougher time convincing them about the reasons for peace, why peace should be pursued. But to your question, I think if you look at Trump's visit to Beijing, he basically repeated a lot of Beijing's talking points about which aligned much with what she wants in terms of peace, right? No independence, right? Donald Trump said no independence, right? So that aligns with KMT, right? But Donald Trump changes his views week to week, so it's hard to say.
What would be considered successful for her trip to DC or overall?
I think success just would be getting face-to-face meetings with people, senior officials, who with influence over Taiwan policy, who can just listen to her without any preconceived ideas about who she is and what the KMT is, with an open mind, and just to deliver the message, what she did today, deliver the message of, peace. Why she thinks engagement with China benefits Taiwanese people, and just, whereas just buying more weapons and just like trying to ostracize Beijing and not talk to Beijing is not in Taiwan's interest. And now the DPP wouldn't say that's what they're doing, but from her perspective, explaining the importance of the trip to China when she met with Xi, explaining the contentiousness of Taiwanese domestic politics, how it's difficult to pass bills like the defense bill. So it's not just up to her. It's much more complicated than that. Getting Washington, D.C. to understand that, they'd be a little bit more patient. I think that would be a success.
Okay.